Joe Randall rang me one day. I didn't know who this lady was, this Wadjala lady, and asked if I was interested in putting a choir together, an Aboriginal choir, a community choir with her, and I thought that was a great idea. And so we organised our first rehearsal, and a big mob of people came, and I think majority of the people were Wadjala, were non-Indigenous, and that's okay. I didn't sort of have any expectations of that night of who was coming. But anyway, the next day Joe rang me and said, "Oh, what do you think about all the Wadjalas coming to rehearsal?" She said, "I was expecting more Aboriginal people to be there." And she said, "Well, are you okay with that?" And I said, "Look, I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. Let's go with it." They came. They obviously were interested in this idea and in this project and the idea of singing Aboriginal songs and songs in language. So I just said, let's just go with it. And it's kind of been a blessing in disguise, you know, I guess, because there's a bunch of Wadjalas learning and singing Aboriginal songs, and all of the Perth community get to see these people up there singing beautifully. And it's been a great journey. It's been very healing. And the 3 months project turned into an 11 years project. Yeah, so it's pretty amazing. It's been a great journey. We cry and laugh and we carry on, and we're all here to sing songs in harmony. And it's, you know, it's a lovely, safe environment where people come and they learn the history and our culture, but they learn it in a lovely, safe environment. And then they take it away and they teach their families and friends what they've learnt.
Never before has Noongar language been so accessible, and have Noongar people been so happy to share, and that's a huge privilege for us who are grabbing it.
You know, so we have a lot of the new people come and they're singing and learning these songs, and you'd be amazed, you'd be totally amazed and surprised at how many people don't know. They are clueless to this story. They don't know anything about the 67 referendum or the 1905 Act or the stolen generation or the massacres. And a lot of them themselves, they feel like they've been done the dirty on. I don't know how else to describe it. And they feel ripped off that they weren't taught this in high school. They feel ripped off that they were told lies, or they weren't told the truth by the system or by their parents or by whoever. So still, they come here and a lot of people are still hearing this news for the first time.
Early on in the history of the choir, there were a few comments from Aboriginal people who are clearly still carrying a lot of hurt and anger about past injustice, and quite rightly so. And that's very challenging. If people say to you, "How come you're singing my language and your people flogged us for singing that language?" That's you know, you're ready to just drop the whole thing. I mean, what the hell are we doing here if it's not for the good? Then that kind of, you know, challenging discussion is so often countered by Noongars saying, "Keep doing what you're doing, it's wonderful." There's a beautiful man, the Reverend Seelan Garlett, who I had the chance to talk to immediately after a very difficult conversation, and I said, "How do you feel about Wadjala singing Noongar?" And he said, "I feel honoured." I thought, wow, that's good enough for me. And again and again, I've had that kind of comment, and we all have.
Every year leading up to Sorry Day, every year in April is quite challenging, because every Monday night is rehearsing the Sorry song, and or Took the Children Away, or, you know, all those songs that relate to the stolen generation is sung for a good 4 weeks leading up to Sorry Day event, which we perform at every year. And, you know, and often we have new people here, and so they get to see this process, and they get to learn more about the stolen generation, and we often have guests in from the stolen generation, so people are meeting people firsthand and learning their stories, and it's very emotional time of year, and you know, and people, they come and learn about this history, like I said, in a safe environment.
Along with the language and the relationships with Aboriginal people, you do change into somebody who's really connected with the land, and your mind opens to the idea that everything is connected, that the land and the spirit and the people and the language and obviously all the rituals, everything is interwoven. And, you know, to an extent, we can all be part of that. I just feel if we can influence young people, it's a way of us influencing their passion for the land as well.
It's a fantastic way of Indigenous, non-Indigenous and other nationalities coming together and learning our culture and history through beautiful song and harmonies.
The more Wadjulas you have singing Aboriginal songs, the more reconciled we are as a broad society. So I'm thrilled about the people from all over.